Hello everyone, this is Baljinder Singh Rathour from London, immigration lawyer. As usually, we bring new topics to you, and today we are here to discuss about US immigration and EB5 program. And to give a detailed overview on this program, I have Dr. Tarun Dhir with me. Dr. Saab, first of all, welcome and hope all is fine. Moving forward, a brief introduction on EB5.
Good. Thanks, Baljinder ji to connect today. And then, yes, we are now looking forward for bringing in clients from all over the world on EB5 to US. And as most of the people are aware that Trump government had made the changes on EB5, they had increased the investment from $500 million to 900,000 USD, and with few more changes in terms of the eligibility criteria. When we say eligibility criteria, that is like the net worth and the incomes has to be considered, which was very different before the COVID or before the start of this financial year.
Oh, yeah, that would be my next question, of course, that what is the eligibility criteria regarding the funds, regarding network, education, or English or business experience? So in overall, what the client should be having before they think of applying for EB5?
Yeah, that's a very nice question. So the most important thing is that there is no age bar for any client to apply for EB5. Uh, he can be of any age, but he should be a high net worth individual with a good business background or a good income from any other legal source in his native place. The income proof has to be very legitimate, and the path what they when we bring in the funds in US on the investment of EB5 projects, it should be very legal. Number one. Number two, there is no requirements of English IELTS test for any client. There is no requirement of any education degree. Okay, so the best part is you invest in the regional center projects in US and you get conditional green card in 2 years after the investment.
Yes, that's another way forward. Within 2 years, they get the green card. And what sort of investments they are doing? How secure is the investment? And what percentage or profit they are getting out of that investment?
Okay. One thing I have to clear everybody, which I have been telling earlier also to all the clients all over the world, that investment is done not directly to the US government. The investment are done in the projects which are approved by the US government under regional centers. So there are almost 1,000 regional centers in US which are approved to bring in the foreign investments and complete the projects within a stipulated time based on the equity of foreign investors and create 10 minimum jobs from that investment within a span of first 2 years of the investment. And after completion of the project, that is almost a project takes 4 to 5 years in US, the money should be returned to the investor. So practically when we say the money is returned, normally the regional centers, they return and refund the complete amount. Say today the investment is minimum 900,000 USD. So that will be refunded to the client practically after 7 years. Why? Because the investment is done at one go now when the applicant comes to us and wants to apply under this category. And after 2 years of due diligence by the agencies USCIS, the conditional green card is issued to the applicant and his dependents. And yes, the returns, when you're talking about the returns depend upon the project to project. Few projects they offer 2%, few projects they offer 4% return per annum. But the return on the investment starts once the client reaches US on a conditional green card. So first 2 years there won't be any return.
What is the processing time for this? I mean, for example, a client retained with us today, how much time
Yes.
will it take for him to move forward with this investment?
Okay, so the moment the client is retained with us, from that day or practically from the day he has transferred the money in the project, that is 900,000 USD and 70,000 USD towards the administrative and other relative fees, relevant fees, right? So once he's transferred this money, the process starts. We file in I-526. So we get the result of I-526 between 4 to 12 weeks after the filing. And once we get that, then thereafter we go in for I-826. So I-826 takes around almost a year. So from the day the investment is done, we always tell the client that be prepared for a minimum period of 18 to 22 months. So once the conditional green card is approved, he gets 6 months time to fly into US. So once he flies there, then thereafter he has to register on the as we call in UK as NHS. So there we make the medical insurance and all cards, and then he is free. The best part in EB5 is that a client doesn't have to go to the same place where the investment is done on the project. He is free to work, he is free to do anything, he is free to invest more money for his own new home or any other business in US wherever he wants to do. Because this money, what he's invested in the project, is a part of his green card process. So he
So,
gets.
regarding that employment of 10 local citizens, who take care of that? The investor or the company itself? That they take care of all those
Yeah,
things?
so the regional center which is taking care of the project, it is their duty to see to that against each investment of this 900,000 is taking care of the employment of 10 US citizens in the project, because the one that the second process of I-826 establishes and confirms. When I say due diligence is done, right? So in the due diligence process, USCIS physically checks that the project is already running and the people are on the board, and the accounting is maintained by the regional center, wherein they prove that the funds have come legally, as well as the project is moving there and the people are on board and are being paid against the amounts which have been taken by the foreign investors under EB5 category.
Uh, Dr. Zab, before the person makes his mind of doing the investment, they might want to have a physical look at the projects. Would there be any possibility for them to visit US before they
Yes,
actually
yes.
invest the money?
Yes, very good question. So these days, all HNIs are having valid visas as a tourist visa, which is we normally call B1, B2, right? So mostly everybody has B1, B2 who's a HNI in his native country, whether he is in India or he's in any other Asian country or any other global country, say Europe and UK
I
also.
mean, even if they don't have that visa, that we can also assist in getting that
So yes,
visa.
we do once we lock in the client and we retain the client. So after taking the small amount, because we need to go sign into an agreement, because the invitation has to come from that very project, from that regional center or the project. For example, there is a project going under a regional center for a Hyatt group of hotels, right? So the invitation letter will come from Hyatt group of hotels, or we are going in for a JW Marriott hotel, right? So there can be anything, right? So the invitation will come from that very project, against which embassy, yes, because there is a contract in place and the retaining amount is in place. Obviously, after that, there is a visit uh, made by the client willingly. If he wants to do that, he's most welcome. We show him the project for 2 or 3 days. We take him around to the place, and then balance amount he can transfer in the escrow account once he's back home.
So lovely. So that means within 2 years, the green card is approved and the individual with
Conditional green
family.
card.
So,
Conditional green.
okay. So, when you say family, who are the family members included in the family?
Okay, so say the primary applicant, spouse, and the children up to the age of 18
All
are
right.
part of this file by default.
And if the kid is still studying above 18, dependent on parents, can he be?
No, then there is an exceptional case wherein USCIS has got the power to take the decision. If the supposing the child is 20, but the study is continued, there is no break in the study, and it is proved, we do file the case, but there's a catch in that, because they have very clearly mentioned about the age 18, right? So if he is between 18 and 19, that can be considered, but we have to understand one very clear thing. For that, we do not confirm and commit to our client. Why? Because USCIS is the last authority to take the decision on that.
Anything you want to give a final point of view on this EB5? What your message to high net worth, I would say, immigrants who are looking forward to move towards USA? Your final words.
Yeah, okay. Now, this one thing is very clear now that this Trump government has been very fastly changing the plans of the settlement in US. The H1B is as of now on hold, right? And there is no other option for anybody to settle in US without EB5. So the demand of the foreign investors is increasing, especially after the changes have been done. And most likely, if you ask me honestly, if this program goes in for a good boom after this break of COVID, the US government may increase this amount from 900,000 to 1.8 million.
So yes, before that amount increases, we do invite all the investors from around the world who wish to settle in the US. Yes, do contact us and we will take care of your immigration file. Thank you, Dr. Saab, for being on board.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot.